Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Is Our Life. I want to talk to you today about hamburger buns. I had never made hamburger buns until today, and I'll provide you the recipe. It says it's a 40-minute hamburger buns. And here, they came out a whole lot smaller than, those are two, here's the third one.
I thought they came out kind of small.
Yeah, they came out small. The recipe said it'll make a dozen, and I had to put it in the oven twice as long as the recipe calls for 10 minutes. I put it in for 20. I put it in for 10, opened it up, looked at it, they weren't done, tapped them and everything, so I put them back in for another 10 minutes. I'm making sloppy joes for dinner, and that's why, since we don't have hamburger buns, that's why I made hamburger buns. And there's still more in there. These aren't the only three. But it says it makes a dozen, yet I made like 9 or 10, and that's how big they came out. If you look at my hand, look at the size, a hamburger bun should be much larger. Maybe twice as big as this. But a 40-minute recipe is really nice. Say 50 minutes, since I had to put it in an extra 10 minutes. But instead of, for those who know about bread baking, my favorite bread that I haven't made in a while, pan de horno, which is a Spanish bread. It takes a long time. It takes several hours. So, and I was going to make sliced white bread, but I was like, no, hamburger buns is what you eat with sloppy joes, not sliced bread. So that's what I went with. I don't know, maybe I could have flattened them out a little bit. Maybe made fewer and flattened them out, maybe they would have been larger. But I think the thickness is okay. A little thicker might be better, but the round, the diameter is small.
Well, hamburger buns aren't that large anyway.
True. But anyway, so I just wanted to show you that, and I'll give you the recipe. Maybe the second recipe, if I can find it real fast, will be the pan de horno recipe. What do we use when we have pan de horno? When we have pan de horno, that's what we have. We have it with anything. But I particularly enjoy it with tortilla español, Spanish tortilla. Everybody, back home had their own way of making their tortilla. All the places you would buy one or buy a slice or whatever have their own little recipe. The thing is, we have no more olive oil right now, and we buy like a big old gallon or 2 or 3 gallon size bottle of olive oil. If we could afford it, we'd buy several a month, but
we didn't buy any last week.
We didn't buy any, but we did buy a little bottle, but that lasted about 2 days or a day and a half. I use a lot of olive oil. I love garlic, I love olive oil, but I'm not too fond of olives themselves. But I do like, but
You're not too fond of what?
I'm not too fond of olives, but I do like olive oil.
I don't like green olives. To me, they're very salty, but I like the ripe ones.
Back home in Spain, we're talking the 1960s here. There was a particular way they made olive oil. I'm sure they don't make it that way anymore. But they had big vats, and the women with their dresses, they had to hold the bottom of the dress up, and they stood there all day long stomping on it. That was a different day and time. And yes, that was considered women's work. I don't know what other men, well actually men and women I guess would harvest, but women were the ones who got in there and stomped on them. But anyway, so I just wanted to show you. That's my first time I ever made hamburger buns. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Bye.